Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Fake Chats. Today, I have a very special guest. Christian actor Ulises Larramendi is here. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great, Buck. I'm doing great. It's a good morning to be alive. Air in my lungs. I'm vertical. It's all good.
So, share with us a little bit about your background and where you got started in acting.
My background, cultural wise, I'm from Cuba, island in the Caribbean there. Not Cuba, Alabama, but Cuba, the country. And I came to the United States when I was 14 years old. So I grew up in the island. But, always, my dad's a great storyteller. And I have always just enjoyed him telling stories. I think I inherited that from him. And I always got involved in high school with church productions or just skits here and there, but didn't take it really too seriously until I got to college. And I happened to audition for a play, and I got the lead villain role, and just got the bug. I still make my living. I have made my living in the restaurant business for the last 40 something years, but um, just always been acting here and there. More of a passion. I mean, when you're in the restaurant business, you're on stage anyways, every single day with a different audience every single night. But transition from theater to film about 12 years ago. I got involved with a ministry here locally that was doing Christian films. And man, I've never turned back. I miss the stage, I miss theater, I miss the live productions. But film is it's been very rewarding, and God's using us in mighty ways through film and media. So I'm going to stick with that for a while.
So, how did God open up the door for you to be a featured extra in The Chosen?
Man, I I don't know. The Lord has His ways. I track a lot of. I track a few casting directors and projects. Of course, I was a huge fan of The Chosen since day one, since season one. Just watching ambitiously, very ambitiously in the early days. I auditioned for Nicodemus. Um, and when I look at the job that Eric has done with Nicodemus, it blows me away that I even thought I had a shot. But it was I started auditioning then for different roles, and when I realized how competitive it was, because I mean it's a massive global phenomena, right? I mean, The Chosen is everywhere, as 600 languages. So I thought, well, if I could just get on set, if I could just get in front of Dallas Jenkins somehow, if I could be an extra, a featured extra. And a lot of my friends that are involved with The Chosen as background since day one, I've worked with them in other productions. So I just thought, let me just apply for this, find out who's casting the background, and see if my look works. And it worked for a Pharisee. So I was able to get on board for season five as a Pharisee in the synagogue. Uh, pretty feature spots next to Nicodemus, next to Shmuel, next to Gadara. I had a really good placement, and you have to watch it at home because it goes pretty fast. If you're watching in the theaters, you're never going to see me. You have to actually pause and try to find me. But that was a great experience.
So, what would be a memorable experience for you while on the set of The Chosen?
I tell the story because we were told uh, I we're being placed in our spots in the synagogue. This was probably the one that I remember the most. And I'm placed in the front row there. I have a seat that's empty next to me, and I figured, well, everybody's filling up, so it must be a principal. And finally, they start bringing the principals in, and I see Eric um, Avadi walking towards me. You know, the guy who plays Nicodemus. He's walking towards me, and he sits right next to me. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I'm sitting next to Nico. That's great. But we were told not to talk to the principals. You know, they're locked in, they're in character. Don't mess with them. Don't say anything like, "Oh, I admire your work" or any of that. And there's a small, they're setting up the lights and doing the final touches of makeup, and he leans over to me and he goes, "So, did you fly in last night?" And I'm looking around, going, "I'm going to get fired because I'm talking to a principal. We're not supposed to do that." So I quietly just said, "No, I got here yesterday." And he goes, "Oh man, I'm exhausted. I just want to go home." And this is Nicodemus, man. This is Eric. All these, and he's being brought back to season 5 after many seasons that he hasn't been on, and all the fans are really missing him. And I just thought it was a great interchange there between he and I. Great gentleman, so kind and so nice. And then as a pro that he is, he immediately turned around and went back to character. So yeah, that was a cool experience. Watching Dallas direct up close, within a couple of feet of me, was a great experience too, Andrew, because Jenkins is a great director, and just watching his technique and how close he watches the action. And he watches behind the monitor, but he's also on set, just watching up close the actors interacting. That was really cool too.
So you're recently going to be in a Christian comedy called Empty Nets coming this fall. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I that's gonna be premiering the last Saturday of the Content 2025 Festival in Weatherford. After we're done with all the seminars and the training and everything that the conference has to offer, and the award ceremony, we're nominated for a couple of awards there too. I am personally as well. Once we're done with that, we're going to premiere this film that we shot last year, and it's a comedy. It's a first century comedy, and I'm probably the least comedic character in the story because I serve as the spiritual mentor to the lead, who's also the writer and one of the producers, and the lead. His name is Leland Clausen. He's Canadian. He's super super funny, and it's we shot it there in Weatherford, in the same village where The Chosen started in season 1. And we talk about this teacher that's walking around named Jesus, but he's not a character in the story. But we mention him because it happens around the same time. But we're excited about it. It's shot with beautiful colors. Nathan Blair directed it and edited it, and he's well known in our faith-based community with some films he's put out in the past. And I was blessed to work with him and Leland and be cast. And we have some great actors too. Todd Terry plays the villain in the show. We have a lot of really really talented people in this cast. So I'm hoping that it'll be well received. That people will laugh when they're supposed to laugh, and that it will hit the theaters. And uh, we need humor in media too, and if it helps to communicate the message of the gospel while we're making some people laugh in their seats, and not be watching a horror flick or something that's not edifying, then yeah, amen, man. Let's put this out there. I think it'll do really well.
So, as a Christian actor, what are your hopes and goals for a Christian that may be watching the films that you're in?
I pray that God is glorified, Andrew, above and everything else. I mean, I pray that people go and they see the work that we're doing, and it brings them closer to the Lord. I pray that people who are unchurched want to come back and open their Bible. One of the most beautiful things I see about The Chosen is it's the immediate desire for folks to go back and open their Bibles, even if it's just to check and make sure that what we're doing on set is biblical. Just at least they open their book, they open the Bible, they're reading it. Um, and if it's comedy or if it's emotional or drama, as long as it pulls them back in, that they're refreshed, that God is honored. We're working here locally on a TV series called Breaking Strongholds. I play a chaplain, and uh, tied into that because I've worked with suicide prevention for quite a while now with the ministry here, Reflective Life Ministries, Reflective Media Productions, and I wrote a script for a short film. We named it Reconsider. We shot it here in Montgomery, and uh, it's had a bunch of views, awards. People are forwarding it to others who are thinking about suicide because basically it's just me talking to the camera, um, as if I'm trying to talk somebody off the ledge. It's called Reconsider, and it's doing extremely well on the internet and social media and that kind of thing. And we even got many comments, but we have this one particular letter from an inmate that sent us a letter and said, I was thinking about taking my life. I watched Reconsider twice, and I changed my mind. And you saved my life. And that right there to me is the purpose of everything we do with media. It's helping the Lord spread His message, is saving people from destruction, is offering hope. If you're sitting in a theater and you see my character and somehow you identified with my struggle, and yet the story takes you to a place where you see redemption and you see your spirit restored because you connected with the Lord, and that story, that was the purpose of the story, and we achieved that. We we've achieved what we wanted, right? We used to pray before every scene that we shot for the movie We Are Stronger, where I played a soldier with post-traumatic stress, and we prayed, Lord, if if just one person is touched by the story, if one life is saved, then we've done our job. And Andrew, that movie has saved many, many lives and changed many, many people's paths towards destruction. So the Lord has taken that product and done a lot more than we even thought could be possible. So that's really my goal. That's to use media to impact people's lives, and show God's glory. Yeah.
So, since 2020 and the COVID pandemic, suicide's been on an all-time high for youth. What would
Yeah.
you share with the person that's going through them thoughts right now?
This is the main point that we're trying to get across. I'm so glad you asked that question. If you're out there and you're thinking that your life is worthless, just stop and think about that you're beautifully created, that the Lord made you and has a purpose for your life, that you're not alone in whatever struggle you're dealing with, because there's a lot of people who care, and that you should seek out your maker and understand that he has not finished writing your story yet, that you have a story to tell, that your life can be used for his glory and his honor, and he needs you. He doesn't need us, he doesn't need any of us, but he would like for us to be a part of that story. And that, if we think, this is some of the stuff I touch and reconsider. If we think about how incredibly creative our bodies are with our eyes, and the miles and miles of arteries and veins that we have, and how complicated our cardio system is, and things that science hasn't even been able to figure out, Andrew. Why would you put an end to that? The beautiful creation that God has done. Specifically, your DNA has never been repeated since the beginning of time. Your individual specific DNA and will never be repeated. It's so unique. And God made you that unique. So reconsider what you're about to do. Think about it. and change your mind and come towards the Lord so he can then show you what plans he has for your life. That's the main message. That's what we're trying to do to save people from this pandemic. You're right, because it is at an all-time high, and it's at an all-time high in teens and children, which is mind-boggling that somebody that young could be that hopeless. But as a society, we've just forgotten about our youth and just really messed things up, you know.
So, what really gave you the idea for the short film Reconsider?
Interesting story. We finished filming episode one of what we are hoping to put out there as this a short a TV series on the life of Paul. I was cast as Paul for this production, and we shot a pilot that's available online. It's about 37 minutes or so. And we finished shooting that in Weatherford at Capernaum Studios also. And I'm sitting around with another gentleman who's a fellow actor in the show, and a guy from the crew, and we were just talking about life and our childhoods, and things started coming out, and they started sharing some intimate things, and suicide came up for both of them as their attempt to have taken their lives at one point. And we cried and we prayed and we hugged each other and we talked. And Andrew, the next morning, I packed my truck and I'm driving back to Houston, and I just feel this urge to write down all these thoughts I'm having, based on the conversations we had the night before with these two gentlemen who survived it, but they're still dealing with the aftermath and the pain and all that. And I just turned on my phone, recorded everything I was thinking that God was downloading. And then I got home. I told my wife, "Hey, it's good to see you, honey, but I need a minute because I needed to transcribe everything I had just recorded, because I just felt this urge to put whatever I had thought about for that 3.5 hour drive on paper, and then immediately send it to our director and production team at Reflective Media Productions, so that maybe they could consider, making a film out of it." And they loved it immediately. I mean, within a couple of weeks, we were in Montgomery filming this thing downtown. It happened fast. Obviously, God was behind it because it happened way too quick for the speed that these kind of things gets put together. But it was a message that I wanted to get out there as quickly as possible, and God was behind it for sure. So that's how I got inspired to write that, and it was all based on all the conversations we had the night before till 2:30, 3 in the morning, praying and crying. Three men just being humble and realizing how fragile we were.
So, what's coming up for you as an actor?
Um, I just sent out a couple of auditions. One of them is for a proof of concept. Uh, I can't mention any of these titles, but sent out a couple of auditions. Sent out an audition for a feature film being done here in Houston as well. I'm in season 6 of The Chosen, playing a different character this time. I've already been up there for that, filming Peter's first denial. That was a lot of fun. And there is another opportunity soon to be part of the Sanhedrin once again. This is all for season 6 for uh, the crucifixion season coming up next year. Um, I'm in the restaurant business, Andrew. That's how I make my living. So I can't yet be 24/7, 100% be auditioning and seeking roles, but I do have about 5 projects that are in the works that I'll be able to do soon. I'm still staying active. I hope to retire one day, and from the restaurant business, and dedicate all my energy and all my resources to working on films and telling stories and letting media, change the world, man. It can, it can travel so many miles. Our movie "We Are Stronger" it's been seen over 9 million times, and it's all over the world. And it's amazing how it's been translated into other languages, and we never expected that little bitty film from Montgomery County here in Texas to go that far. So that's my goal, but I have to go at a certain pace because I still have to make a living and see how far my restaurant will carry us. We've had this restaurant for 19 years. Soon I don't want to be 80 years old and still be running a restaurant. But it's a beautiful thing about performing and acting. You never age out, right? You always need a guy with a white beard. Uh, I may not be able to play tennis or football after I'm my 20s or 30s, but I can still act in my 60s and 70s, right? So that's the beauty of this industry. You never age out. So
So, what kind of restaurant do you have?
repeat the question, please.
What kind of restaurant do you have?
Oh, my restaurant's international menus. Basically, it's a reflection of where I've done in my career. So we serve pastas, burgers, steaks, comfort food, like meatloaf and country fried steak. We serve seafood dishes, Cajun dishes, Cuban dishes because I'm Cuban. So it's an international menu. It's you can go there, have a table of four, and somebody could have fish tacos. The other person could be having lasagna, and the kid could be having a burger, and dad's having a country fried steak. And it's all within the same restaurant and the same environment. It was a place that my wife and I wanted to have to glorify God. We have Joshua 24:15 on the wall. We try to run our business with biblical principles, kindness, and we have core values that reflect our beliefs, and respect and honesty, and I mean, every company has core values, but we try to put together a list of core values and mission statement that would honor God, and He has honored us with 20 years of business, man. I mean, a lot of restaurants can say that, especially individual restaurants like myself. Chains, yeah, they get supported by the mother stores, but it's just been God and us on our knees for 19 years because we survived COVID, we survived a couple of hurricanes here in Houston, and we're still here. So that should say something. That's a testament to God's will to keep us open. Yeah.
So, for those who are interested in finding out more about you, how could they do so?
Oh, I have a Facebook page. Ulises Larramendi. You can just look up my name. You can go to Eden Table, EDEN table.com. That's our website for the restaurant. We also have a Facebook page for the restaurant, Eden Table, Eden Table Restaurant and Bar. And I have an Instagram page personally. And so that's basically it. I mean, I have a little bit of presence on social media, both personally and with the business, and that connects you to my cell and my personal email and everything else. I also have an IMDb account, again, my first and last name, and I'm on Actors Access too with a profile. So yeah.
All right. Well, Ulysses, thank you so much for your time today. God bless you, and I look forward to the next time we can talk.
Andrew, God bless you, man. Thanks for reaching out and having me on Faith Chats. Appreciate you, brother. Take care of yourself.
All right. Be blessed.
You too.